Some people say you don't know what you have until it's gone. But in reality, for a lot of people, they knew what they had, but they never thought they'd lose it. And because of that, they become comfortable. And that starts to create a dynamic where people take advantage, where people are not doing their part anymore and become lackadaisical in a relationship. And so what a lot of women have experienced, people in general, but we're focusing on the women right now, is this dynamic where the man starts to care when she stops. When she starts to pull away, that's when he wants to step up. And to some extent, that might be like, well, at least he's finally stepping up. But on the other side, it's like, well, why does it take that? Why must we get to that point? And unfortunately, for a lot of women, when she gets to that point, she's become very emotionally checked out. So now, even if he tries, she may not have the energy to keep trying with him. But let me break down for you why it even happens, all right? Because there are some things I'm sure you already know, but there are a couple things that a lot of women are not considering. And it's important that you hear this. And be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Like the video. Anyways, number one is that he actually always cared, but he wasn't aware of the issue. Now, some of y'all may have rolled your eyes at that one, but hear me out. As a coach, I cannot tell you how many times I have sat down with couples, both married and regular boyfriend-girlfriend relationships, where the man was truly, genuinely oblivious to the issues going on. All right? Now, I know a lot of women will say, well, how can that be, especially when in most cases the woman is saying something about it? Yes, she's saying something, but she may not be properly explaining or conveying how important to her this is. And when we say important to the point that by not having this, it could lead to her wanting to step away or be done with the relationship. All right? Now, why does that happen? Well, sometimes we have to realize that the way men and women communicate is not always the same. And when a man talks and what the woman hears is not always in alignment. And when the woman talks and what the man interpreted is not always in alignment. And so we have a bad habit as human beings of not always trying to tap into how that person receives our message, we rather expect that they would grasp our way of communicating it. Okay? And so for a lot of women, especially when you've been with this guy for a while, it's like, how does he not know this? How does he not understand me at this point? But him being a man and him possibly lacking certain skills of comprehension may lead him to not fully grasp what it is you're saying. So I'm going to give an example. I've given this example before in a previous video, but I remember one time that I had a married couple and the wife said, he doesn't spend enough time with me. The only time he touches me is when he wants to have sex. And it's like, I don't feel wanted and valued and things like that. He won't even sit down and watch TV with me. Okay. So I discussed this with the man and I said, listen, she's saying, I explained to her everything she said. She said, and he said, okay, cool. I got it. I'm gonna work on it. A week later, I asked him, okay, what's the progress? What happened? He said, well, I did what you said I need to do. I asked her, she said, oh, it's still nothing's changed. Okay, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. I said, okay, what happened? She said, yeah, okay. He said, well, I sat and watched TV with her. I said, so I'm talking to her now. I'm like, well, yeah, he sat and watched TV with me, but he was on this end of the couch and I was on that end of the couch. So essentially, what the man heard in her request was, watch TV with me. What the woman was trying to communicate was, show me affection. Show me attention. Actually want to be next to me. Okay? And to her, that should have been plain and clear. But to the man, it was not. So when I say he was not aware, what happens is sometimes you have these lingering issues. And that was just one example. But you have these issues that the man doesn't grasp how important this is. Another reason why that can happen real quick is because so many people grow up seeing dysfunctional relationships to where they start to normalize problematic behavior. So if, for example, arguing is something that someone grew up seeing, and let's just say their parents stayed married for 40 years, but arguing all the time. To them, now that we argue in our relationship, it's not a big deal. That's what people do. My parents stayed together for 40 years. They're not going to grasp, but wait a minute, this issue may lead to the end of our relationship. So he doesn't understand that this is affecting you to the point that you're going to start to give up and not care anymore. And so when you do give up, he's like, I don't understand. What's going on? And to you, it's like, are you really that stupid? Technically, yes. and I say, I just mean yes in the sense that he is oblivious. He did not get it. He did not grasp it. So let's not assume, all right, that when the man is not showing care or when he finally wakes up because you stopped, it's a matter of, well, he just doesn't care about you and now he's just trying to act right just to get you back, which we'll discuss that because it does happen. But we do have to consider the fact that sometimes he just did not understand what the problem was. So what's the fix to this real quick before I move on to the next point? So make sure that you are communicating your issues and your concerns very clearly, all right? And I think it's important as a woman that you get as specific as possible when you're expressing what you see as an issue and what you want to see change for things to be corrected, all right? Now, again, some of you may have already done that, great, but I just want to make sure we cross our T's and dot our I's, all right? Before we jump to any conclusions about how this man really felt about you. So make sure you express things clearly to him. Make sure you express things to him at a time that you are calm. So I'm a firm believer in writing things out, writing letters. I think that's the best way to communicate big issues because verbal conversations can go left really fast. People get defensive. People lose track. They get distracted. There's so much that can go wrong with a verbal conversation. I'm not saying it's impossible to reach resolution that way. I just believe that it is much more effective to write it down, allow that person to read it, process it, and then we come back to the table and discuss it, okay? I think that will make it flow a lot better and allow that person to retain and understand more what you're trying to say to them. So let's make sure we take a healthy approach to communication and we express everything. And then if you can say I've done that and this man still showed that he didn't care until I stopped, okay, now we got some other issues to explore. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check this one out right here, and I'll see you there. Some people say you don't know what you have until it's gone. But in reality, for a lot of people, they knew what they had, but they never thought they'd lose it. And because of that, they become comfortable. And that starts to